my standpoint, I don't know about Victor, but from my standpoint, it would be just the growth of the warehouse. So we basically started our warehouse from Wingfield. We brought in our own workforce. Prior to this warehouse, all of our inventory was subcontracted to a third party, one in Miami and one in the UK. And to control the quality, it was just impossible. We didn't have a defined ship time, and we didn't have a defined quality system for that third party. So what we've done is we started with a 20,000 square foot warehouse. We're now expanded to about 50,000. And bringing all that inventory from the both locations in-house. We've established our own quality assurance. We've established our own quality control and our own processes. Even our ERP system, we would advance on that. So that's probably been, the biggest growth item from 2025 to 2026.
I would add also technical expertise, because we brought in more people that have that technical expertise on the product line and then also on the repair side. So that versus how it was before, it's a big difference.
So we've established the warehouse and brought in the Aeras employees before we had a representative sales office only. And it didn't really gain a lot of traction in the US market. The US market is the largest market in basically what we do in aviation. So if we're going to grow Aeras to, our vision, what we have to do is have that footprint in Americas. And that's what we've done. And that was the main goal. And we're using that model to springboard into Asia as well. So Aeras has always been strong in Europe, Middle East. Now we've added US customers. We're very strong in the US. And next step is Asia.
That's pretty much what I was gonna say as well. More expansion into other regions, like Asia, the Middle East itself, and then also into the African region.
I think both being close to your customer, being able to distribute the parts or have the engines at the same time, the same customer base that we're building has assets, especially the airlines, as they require assets, they have those relationships to be able to have access. So both of them come hand in hand.
Yeah, strong relationships are very important, hand in hand, like you said.
Actually, that's a good question, because we just did the report out in the sales meeting last week. Mm-hmm. And when we joined, I'd say probably 80 to 90% of the sales were going to basically our competition. So other distributors, brokers in the marketplace. So we break down an engine and sell parts basically to our competitors that had those end user relationships. It's been a year now. Now we're about 60-40 in the mix. 60% of our inventory is now being distributed to end user customers. That maximizes, our ability to profit, on the different investments that we've been in. That's definitely something we had to focus on, and I think we've achieved that. Hopefully in a year from now, we'll be 90-10 type thing.
Well, I believe also the expansion of the inventory. The focus was much smaller before. Now with the expansion of the inventory onto the QEC, that expands our customer base as well.
Good point. I'd ask also, since you brought that up, I'd add when we joined a year ago, most of the sales were coming from CFM 56. So it was a CFM 56 focused company. Hard to find asset on the market, especially at the right pricing. Now since we've come in, now we're focused on wide body. So we brought in a new product line, CF680, PW4000, recently RB211 even. And then on the narrow body, B2500. So now we're diversified, and we had that strategy when we joined the company a year ago. on this, it's all about capital, so if we don't have the capital, we're going to be stuck in these single transactions, right? Buy an engine, get the investment back, and then find other engines. We do have a private equity investor, and we have traditional bank financing, now. So we're able to go and buy, 3, 4, 5 assets at a time. With the help of the private equity, we have access to more capital. And then Demetrius and Mauricio, the primary owners, they're out showing up more capital, right? So rather than just the single transactions, we want to be able to go out and buy aircraft to harvest the engines, harvest the parts, and multiple aircraft. So that's a big difference, and that's a goal of ours.
Yeah, that additional capital is also going to give us access to expanding much more into the leasing side, which also gives us access to additional engines and more inventory.
Everybody wears different hats, that's for sure. So Lisa here, she's in the back over here. She's taking her head, yes. So she's our quality assurance manager for our facility here, but she also takes care of us, not only on quality assurance, but she watches over the warehouse, and she's key. So that's just an example. Myself, I'm also besides the business side, I'm out, responsible for new business development. So we wanna fill that capacity and bring new employees in the future. But right now, all of us are just doing whatever it takes and wearing those multiple hats.
Yeah, the same things.
I'll let Victor take that one, because that's his responsibility.
One good example is the technical records. It's much better to rely internally on technical records that we do inside our own company rather than subcontracting that out. We want to be able to grow that much more to the point where we can actually offer those services as well. Additionally, on the material that we end up tearing down, we do contract those out.
Basically, on bringing this technical expertise on the engines in-house. What we're able to do is all the in-house evaluations. We do subcontract, like general inspection and borescope inspection. We're still subcontracting a lot, but we look at the data and we make informed decisions in-house. We don't have to go out and ask engineers in another company. It's all done in-house.
Yeah, this way we control the timeline in everything that we do rather than depending on contractors. Many a times when you're depending on subcontractors, you're relying on their timeline rather than our own.
We're going very, very easily. We're going to be known for delivering a quality product and customer service, number one. And hopefully we're well known for being able to support the supply chain on a continual basis, not on a transactional basis.
Same things. That's throughout the whole company. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Oh, got that one for you too. So we do have a 5-year strategic plan. That was defined last year. Glad to say we're on track for that. The first step was expanding into Miami, into the Americas. We are, even though we're based in Dubai, now we're focused on expanding in Dubai, and what we'll do there is start positioning spare parts, serviceable parts we do have a Dubai warehouse. And next year, beginning 2027, we'll be expanding into engine storage, preservation, and then eventually into a lease return service for the region. And then just natural progression and going to the next largest market. We've got to enter Asia. We've got to set up a facility there, which is in the strategic plan, probably for late 2027, if our gum doesn't push her forward a little bit.
We're already starting to implement our leasing part of the business. And so we're going to be focusing a lot more during the year as we get more capital to expanding the lease portfolio on that.
Yeah. Migrating from parts to engine trading, engine leasing.